welcome to another.
Are we recording? Are we live?
And hello, and welcome to another episode of On the Couch. And I'm one of your hosts, Danny Cardozo, and I'm here with Johnny Supa.
Hello, hello. This show is for the realists. Say goodbye to the delusions of modern society.
Sorry, what was that?
I have no idea. I was just trying to imitate Andy Fischella.
Is that who you're listening to this morning?
Oh, yeah, the whole way here.
Love it.
Who is that for people who don't know?
Andy is a entrepreneur, world-renowned podcaster who had a show in 2015 called the MFCEO Project and has now switched gears to Real AF. He is the CEO of multiple 7 and even 8-figure companies. He owns First Form, Supplement Superstores. They own a racing team. They got all kinds of shit. But he's like a business coach. I like listening to him and Ed Milet have created this company called the Arte Syndicate. Mm-hmm. It's pretty, it's influential. I like it. I like listening to him. He speaks my language. He curses a lot, which is what I do. So
you're a podcast guy.
I love fucking talk radio.
What about you, Danny? Do you like podcasts to listen to?
I do, yeah.
Not just to do them, but to actually listen?
I truly focus on the mortgage business on podcasts.
You don't listen to something like a little bit more interactive like Joe Rogan and all that? Never?
Not
What about
really.
you, Johnny?
Not Joe Rogan. No, I listen to either Ed Milet or Andy Fischella. That's it.
Nice.
I like to stay on top of the mortgage game.
Yeah, I listen to ILMB. Yeah.
Try to refresh your mortgage. So
I
you're
mean,
getting your mortgage
things-
info
things-
from podcasting?
No, I might get little tips here and there, and
Or just solidifies that what we're saying
that too.
and what we're hearing out there makes sense.
Okay, let's talk about what I feel like what's been happening a lot in the market, the calls I've been receiving, and it's heartbreaking. I get a lot of. Okay, let's talk about truly what happened this weekend. I got a call. I was leaving my office from one of my referral partners, and he's like, "Danny, I got a client for you. Please try to take care of him. Good client of mine. Sure, no problem. I give him a call. I shoot him out an email. I followed my process. Sent out an email. This is my calendar. Please book a time. He replies back, I would like to call you. I'm like, okay, you know what? Here's my number. So he gives me a quick call. And he's like, I would really appreciate if you gave me 15, 20 minutes of your time. I'm like, okay. I'm like, where are you coming from? He's like, oh, I'm coming from East End, Scarborough. I'm like, listen, anything we can talk about over the phone. There's no need for you to drive 45 minutes. Okay. Now, he's like, please, I would love to come see you in person. Okay. I'm like, all right, man. I'll make some time for you on Saturday, which yesterday or 2 days ago anyways. And he comes there with his wife and kid, and we meet up at Tim Hortons, fine. And he starts telling me about his situation. Now, he's sitting in a private. His house is about to go for power sale in the next couple weeks. And he's trying so hard to keep this house alive. And, just doing a little discovery with him. I'm like, how does this guy get in this position? And us as mortgage agents I feel sometimes are to blame for this. Because we try to do anything to help this person get a 80% LTV at the time, which was probably a year ago. And now today, his house has dropped over $400,000.
Let me ask you something. You said that he is now down $300,000 to $400,000.
Yeah.
Sure.
What happened that he got into that position?
So let's
So
I want to start with something first.
Yeah.
Down 300,000 based on the appraisal he got when? And what are we basing 300,000 on? In a hyped market like back in 2022?
I'm guessing last year.
Yeah, so
And this is a year ago.
So there's a lot of
down
bad
to
dogs out
400.
there, though. There's a lot of bad dogs.
So, this is why I blame the mortgage broker in this case. Okay, it's not because that he put this guy in a mortgage that maybe at the time was 80% LTV, but I'm sitting there and I'm still talking to this guy, and he's like, my mortgage agent, I've been working with him forever, and he keeps coming up with ways to, to figure things out for me, right? And I'm like, so what's the problem, really? Like, he's like, well, he's also like, he's found me a way to get me a second on this property if I just show the bank that I could come up with the 300 that will put him, bring down his LTV. And I'm like, but how is he doing this? You know what I'm saying? So there's obviously some things going on in the background, which there was probably some things going on in the background last time.
Exactly, the first time. Yeah.
And this is where I'm saying I don't blame the mortgage agent for giving him the mortgage. I blame him because of the process that he went through to give him the mortgage, probably the first time, that has now put this guy in the situation today that he's about to lose his house. He came there with his wife and kid. They're about to be in tears in front of me while they're
how are
telling
you
me the
gonna help him?
situation.
How are you going to help him?
Listen, I told him I can't help you.
You told him you can't?
No,
There's
I
nothing
can't
you
help
can do.
you. Like, he told me he has an appraisal. The appraisal came back at 1.45. I told him the best I can do is I can find you another appraiser, but I'll tell you, he's not going to come back a lot more than this guy is. So you're still down money.
But is it really that bad of a situation? I mean, yes, it is a bad situation that you got to come out of your family home. That sucks. But, you the consumer, you're at fault. Okay? You have to be at fault. You got to take some responsibility.
100%.
But you, the mortgage broker, you have to know. I mean, how? If the market flips that quickly and comes down 20% on 1.4 million is a lot of money. That's $300,000, 20%, right? $280K.
Well, let's break this down though. Who do you think put him in this position?
Himself.
Ignorance?
No, it's so
Because wasn't there anyone to guide him and say, look, or the realtor? Wasn't there a realtor involved to say, hey, look, guys.
I didn't go that far. I think this guy's been living in this house for a little while, and truly, he actually brought, and I do feel for this guy because he told me that he had a heart surgery that sent him back about 6 months last year, and probably why he needed money out of this home last year.
couldn't qualify.
Or whatever the case.
And the
is.
solution for him was to get 80% loan to value on his property, and he did.
But now there's no equity to pull from the mortgage, right?
Well, he's got 20% sitting there, but you can't pull it.
You can't pull it.
No one's going to lend you above 80%.
Exactly.
So now you sell the home, you've got $300,000 remaining in equity, and you got to start over. That fucking sucks.
Well, you're not starting over. You're starting worse than where you should start because now you're already in the hole quite a substantial amount. So is there anything that you guys could advise?
So, exactly. So the reason why I'm bringing up the story isn't because I'm here to, I don't want to say I'm not here to feel bad for the guy, but I want to bring forward what our next year is going to be like. Before last year, we never really heard of power sales. We brought in Joe Pesci like not too long ago, and we brought up power of sales because 1% of homes were power of sale for the last who knows how many years.
Yep.
Like you'd never heard about a power of sale for a very, very long time. And now it's like it's coming up a lot. I was listening to who was I listening to? I can't even remember the show I was listening to. And they were talking about a MIC that we actually deal with a little bit. I mean, they call me off the hook trying to get our deals. And I found out that in that one day, they had 5 power sales going up.
That's bad on their side.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That just means like they're
In it for the property, not in it to. So, I mean, let's talk about this a bit. What is private lending should be used as a resource to solve a problem.
right.
Not to put somebody in and stick them and fucking, excuse my language, but put your hands in there to get out. Like, you're only providing a private deal if it makes total sense and you have an exit strategy. Yes, it is extremely difficult when the market shifts. But this is why when we do our discoveries and we're doing our needs analysis or we're doing a risk tolerance, whatever it might be, going at 80% in first position is a very, very big risk. Agreed?
Yeah.
Very big risk. And two, if
For both sides.
yeah, definitely. And this is why some mix that we do deal with, they even using their preferred vendors, like their preferred appraisers, they still go and do their due diligence. They don't take that appraisal for face value. They go take it and look at it and say, okay, well, is this house really marketable at 800,000? Or if we do see a decline in the market, can we, how many days is it going to sit on the market? How fast do we move the product? Because that's ultimately, they're not in the business to steal your house. They're in the business to make interest. I don't know. That's a sucky situation for that client. But this is where we're heading, guys. And there's a lot of people out there. This is why we're hosting that private event coming up on February the 7th. Hopefully this episode airs before then again. But we have an education seminar coming up on February the 7th for this particular reason, because at times there's product or homes that need private lending. We don't have enough money out there. And then there's times where we have everybody saying, hey, Johnny, I got money. I want to invest it in private mortgages, but we don't have the homes. So right now, coming up, we're going to have this seminar. We're going to talk about risk tolerance, the market, the security of the money, but most importantly is how to get the money back out of the property.
Which is where I say I blame the mortgage agents, because they probably don't even ask these questions, and they just want to see. You know how many agents I've talked to that they love privates. Why do they love privates? Because it's so easy.
Yep.
Right? But they don't really care for the client.
Nope.
They just stick them.
No.
Like how many clients come to us? I can't believe. Like I'm looking at their commitment from a year ago, and I'm like, how the hell did this guy stick you with this?
Yeah. $50,000 in fees.
Like
Sure, these guys are driving.
crazy.
Like, it's crazy. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what?
They don't care for the client.
No, they don't.
They care for their own pocket, and that's it.
Yeah. It's bad out there. And one thing that gives me grace is in my discovery, one of my 5 questions is, I don't even know why I'm laughing, because I know nobody else is doing it, is what is your strategy to get out of your mortgage?
Yep.
And they look at me like I have 2 heads.
No one has a strategy. That's why.
No, because
Because they're just focused on purchasing that home.
yeah, they're so transactional based. They just want to stick you in a product and that's it. And it's like, no, dude, my goal is to get you out of the mortgage, not in the mortgage. Yes, I put you in here, but in 5 years from now, when we're coming up for renewal in better times, like right now, we're in a different situation. Like right now, like it's, you got to shake and move and strategize to figure out the best possible solution for you as the homeowner. But in better circumstances, when we're talking, or even now, but when we're talking about renewals, it's, you're on a 25-year amortization. We're going to a 20. How do we get you to 17? How do we get you to 12? Like, we want you out, and that's why our clients love us. Even our private lenders, we're making sure that our money's going back to the lender. Our clients are going from a private to a alternative lender. From the alternative side, they're going to the A side.
Yeah. We always have a strategy put in place.
Yeah.
So we've heard the story. We've heard it's a crazy story. I think it's happening more than just to this individual.
No,
I'm sure it's
100%
happening
is.
to hundreds of
This is
thousands.
why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
It's
So
because
now give me a
I feel like us as mortgage agents, we should be planning ahead with all these clients that we already know that we've given privates in the last year or two, and get in front of them that these appraisals might be coming in light. Like, we need to start strategizing on how to get you out, so you're not sitting in this situation of a possible power of sale because you've waited to the last minute. And I find like a lot of mortgage agents, they just wait for that phone call to start the conversation with their clients.
They're not strategizing.
No.
But do you think people are waiting and waiting and waiting because their mentality is, if I wait a little longer, the market will get better? Do you think that's why people are waiting so long to the very last second when nothing can be done?
That's just poor planning. And that's fault on both sides, but I do agree with what Danny's saying is the agent, the mortgage broker should be contacting you 6 months prior to and say, okay, what's the strategy? What are we doing? How are we going to get you out? But more importantly, okay, who did you represent as the investor?
Yeah.
And now that investor is in trouble and they could lose money. Because first and foremost, who's in first position is not the lender, it's the government. So if you're missing your payments on your mortgage, you're missing your payments on property taxes, you're missing your payments probably on whatever other taxes, okay? So government's in first position. Then, on top of all of that, when you sell a property, realtor comes first. They get paid first because the money's held in trust. So now you got to pay the 4.5% or 5% to the realtor. So there's 5%. Now you only got 15% equity. Then guaranteed your property taxes. So that's gone. So now you're stuck. Now you have no money. And if the market dips 10%, who's going to take the first hit?
But you're describing the entire housing market. Like, this is essentially what everyone is dealing with. So what you're doing is you're bringing light to a situation that's been going on forever. Am I right or am I wrong? Danny, you tell me now. What are people supposed to do in such difficult times where, first and foremost, you can't even get a mortgage to
Get a
begin
second job.
with?
I mean that with a grain of salt. I don't know. What are you supposed to do? What do you do?
I mean, even the second job might not even help you because, I mean, if the market has dropped,
So essentially, we're relying on family, friends, maybe private investors. Like, what are we looking for?
That was one of the questions I asked him, man. Have you gone to your family? Because that's where you're going to need to get your money. Because you're truly wasting your time going mortgage agent to mortgage. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that he went to.
Yeah.
In the last week. I'm like, stop wasting your time trying to come up with a scenario, because without an appraisal, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
No one's going to give you that money.
The value's not there. No one's going to lend the money. And now you're probably breaking the mortgage too. You're not up for renewal, so there's probably an exit penalty.
Yeah.
Because whatever product you're in, I guarantee you the guy put you in a shitty product. It's not an open term. It's a closed term mortgage. So the guy's even in more trouble. Add another fucking $12,000, $15,000 on top of the bill. And then legals.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
He might leave there, I'm going to say owing, because
he's got to weather the storm. I truly believe that he's got to find the next 12 months payments somewhere. He's got to find
no one's giving him a mortgage, right? In this case, his house is up for power sale next week.
So
it's
this guy's like,
it's for sure.
oh yeah, no, it's happening. He's just looking for a way to because he has an approval with a lender.
So basically, he has that Band-Aid he wants to rip off, or he needs to rip off, but a little longer, but it still has to be ripped off. So essentially, if it's not power of sale now, it'll be power of sale because he can't get another solution.
He does have a solution.
Where?
Again, he would have to. In this case, he would have to find money to lower his loan to value.
But that's not a good solution because now you're putting other people in debt, which maybe they cannot afford to be in debt. So you're looking for So you're looking to fix your debt to give someone else debt.
I think, again, we had this conversation even with Joe Pesci when he was here. Number one, the communication sucked. And I don't know this situation. This is news to me. I've never heard. But I guarantee his communication is terrible. He didn't reach out to any legal representation. I bet you the lawyer that put him into this is not even involved in the power of sale.
What about if people need help with their tequila collection? So guys, with a more positive spin to it, because unfortunately you brought up reality, and reality sometimes hits you harder than normal.
I think Johnny needs some tequila right now. This fever I have is kicking my ass.
What do you mean? You still have the fever?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if
You better not get us sick.
I don't feel hot, but I've had a fever for 2 days.
So tequila does help with that.
What?
The camera's giving you a fever.
The cameras give me fever.
But tequila does help with that, I hear.
I agree with you 100%.
What's the tequila of choice, Danny? Johnny?
We have a L.
Let's grab it.
What is this
there,
one?
Johnny?
Already, Johnny hates the bottle because it's
Yeah,
clear
my
and
bad.
nothing great about it.
$42.
$42 at the LCBO.
I haven't tried this yet. Tell us more, Danny, because I don't know much about this one.
I liked it because
Let's you know what?
It's a good mixed bottle.
I'm gonna have to try it.
Can I get some
Early
glasses?
morning.
Yeah.
Don't bring one for me. No.
No, he can't.
No, I'm dry. I'm currently dry. Yeah. So I had this over the holidays. I used it as my mixer.
I would say if you're
It
saying
was a good for mix.
yeah, I haven't tried it, so I mean I can't give it a rating if I don't try it. And right now I got 0 taste buds. License in this place. Yes.
Okay. So let's do this. Johnny's gonna enjoy it, smell it, taste it. Danny, can you give us your point of view in regards to how we're gonna rank this?
So we will rank it by appearance, by taste,
You know what this reminds me of?
a nice little kick in the ass.
No, this reminds me of when you're on a resort. This is like resort tequila.
Yeah.
Hey?
That's what I'm saying. This is your bar
This is
rail.
something you get from the pool bar.
This is your bar rail tequila.
This reminds me like this is.
Can I give the first ranking? I'm giving this 4. No better than that. This is definitely Cuba pool bar.
Yeah.
So
Tequila.
Yeah, this is definitely for mixers.
yeah, it's definitely a bottle for mix.
Yeah.
So this is not your straight shot, or this is your straight shot after about 10 shots. You know what I mean? When you
So-
can't
so
really take it down anymore.
There's
but
no way you're gonna go a notch over 7 out of 10.
I'm no in the mix category. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll
Hold
give
on,
it an
I got
8, but-
more. This is so Mexico pool bar tequila. It even the temperature is even the same. It's warm. What the fuck is this? It's terrible.
Let's do some rankings, boys.
Like me and Danny, we had a conversation last week. We're like, we can't just always go to the $100 or $90 or $400 bottles. We got to bring in these $40 bottles. But this is why they're $40.
No, but listen, there's some gems that are 40. They're
Yeah.
just like in the brandy category and all that.
Yeah, like St. Remy brandy is like, bro, me and my buddy Ed today, we love that. We'll crush a whole bottle. But
So I think
This
Danny's
is-
waiting for you to rank it so he can rank it. That's what I think is happening right here.
okay, the bottle sucks, so we're down. The price is good, right? But
So back up.
no. The taste is this is definitely bar tequila, but I have to say I would probably give it. You're probably 5.5 for me.
That's bang on. That's bang on.
It's a 5.5. 5.5. It's not terrible. Like
It's terrible. It's terrible.
it's not like crazy terrible. It's not like oh my goodness. Like it didn't burn going down, so like it wasn't bad there. It's just not. It's not thick. There's not a lot of
Guys, we
flavor.
get a comment down on the terrible part because I don't want a Mexican walking through our door.
So Danny, you're the last one. Tell me.
I'll give it a 6 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
It's a
So,
5.5.
5.5,
But
6,
I mean,
4 for me.
I mean, it goes with the price, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get a $300 bottle. Are we giving it a 6?
No, hold on a second. Now
But
you're
like-
taking a Honda for a test drive, and then you're driving a Ferrari. You can't do that. They're not even in the spectrum of comparability. You can't say, hey, guys, I tried a $300 bottle. It's amazing. This 42 one kind of sucks.
No, it doesn't suck. It's just not. It's a 5.5.
You know what doesn't suck? Where they can find you guys. Danny, where can they find you?
You could listen to us on Spotify or watch us on YouTube on the Couch Podcast. We have our social, Ernesta Financial, and mine is Mortgages by Danny C.
Yeah, guys, please like, share, comment. It is what's going to drive our podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to bring relevant information to regular people out there. So please find us on the couch, on Spotify, on YouTube. Like, share, and comment. See you guys on the next episode.
And before we go, your Instagram is.
At your Nesta Financial.
See you guys later.
Peace. Whew. I think this tequila is making me feel better now.
Good.